This is Matt Cooper on The Last Word.
We discussed recently on the programme the racist chanting at Glasgow Rangers soccer matches of a so-called famine song and the upset that this was causing to many people. Basically, supporters saying that people should go back to Ireland, and that's putting it in its mildest. We had Alan Kernahan, the former Irish international, who's now a coach, on the programme recently. I asked him what Rangers should be doing to counteract this.
I think we need to just continue what we're doing. There's always different and new ideas that come up. But as I said earlier, we must be commended for the changes that we've made, especially over the last 5 or 6 years, that have been enormous. You know, since I first came to Scotland 10 years ago, the change is like night and day.
That was Alan Kernahan talking about changes at Ibrox and Rangers. But Phil McGill-Vaughan, journalist and blogger, has been following this story. What have Rangers been doing at matches in recent games to try and make sure that this particular song wasn't sung?
Well, the recent Motherwell match, Matt, they handed out a statement by the club that said that if supporters were to sing this famine song, they could be arrested for quote-unquote a racial breach of the peace. That was the advice the club had got from the police. But the club did not condemn the song as racist. And the organisation that is funded to deal with racism in Scottish soccer is Show Racism the Red Card. Now, they only stated on Monday there that the song was racist. And they had been petitioned about this song, complained to about this song, as early as April this year, last season. Now, the Kick It Out organisation, which is English-based but has a UK-wide remit, their director, Pierre Pearce, said to me that this was the worst incidence of sustained racist abuse in British soccer for over 20 years.
And what sort of political pressure are Rangers coming under now to stamp out the singing of this song in the stadium?
Well, in Scotland, very little, I'm afraid. Although in an article on my that I broke on my site, philmcgillivaughan.com, I have a statement from an interview with Alistair Allen, who's a member for the Scottish Parliament for the Western Isles, and he says the song is racist and it should stop. So what we have here is the real story for us as journalists is a story of official inaction. Obviously, football supporters are going to sing appalling things to one another. It's what the public agencies do about that. And this is, so what we have is official inaction in Scotland that's led to concern, and Irish citizens in Scotland and Irish citizens visiting Scotland complaining to the Irish government about this. Is clearly, I mean, we couldn't actually even mention the words of this song.
But isn't it, indeed, but it seems to be like sending not just Irish people, the first generation Irish people out of Scotland, but also descendants of people who went over from famine times onwards.
Well, there's a sports journalist called James Traynor who writes for the Daily Record, and he's generally very well regarded. He's also a BBC broadcaster. Now, he wrote on the 22nd of September in his Daily Record column is that if you don't like this song and if you think it's such an awful place, i.e. Scotland, just leave. Now, that was part of my piece for the Irish Post. I quoted that last week in the Irish Post, which is, readers will probably know, is the paper for the Irish community in Britain. So this is Enoch Powell stuff, effectively, but it's been covered up as football banter. This is racism. The police say so. Finally, Show Racism the Red Card say so. We have backbench MPs in the ruling party in the Scottish Parliament saying this is racism. What we now need, I tried over the last week to get a statement out of the Scottish Premier League. I couldn't get a statement out of Show Racism and Red Card, although they did update their website. What we have here, Matt, is official inaction in Scotland about Scotland's oldest ethnic minority.
Okay.
And you can tell from my accent, I'm a born and reared Glaswegian, I'm a Gaeilgeoir, I live in Donegal, and I was writing in the Irish Post last week, Buchas Morley year that I took my children as infants out of that city, because it is something of a crime to be Irish.
Phil McGill-Vaughan, thank you very much for joining us on the programme. Barry in Sword says the song was sung by Linfield fans to Derry City fans on Monday night. It's not stopping, it's spreading. 53102, the number for your comments. Back after this.